What's up, YouTube? Out in the wood yard. My name's Anthony, and got a few tasks here tonight. I got some cleaning up to do. I got some wood to stack, and I got some debris to clean up on the floor here. I'll tell you a trick about gloves. Gloves are very hard to find good ones. I can't really find good ones, and I just kind of go back and forth through what they have at the dollar store, and I get some of the ones with the rubber palms, and I get these cotton style, which are pretty common, and some thinner ones too. I like using the thin ones, the fluorescent orange ones you see me using, because you can feel the chainsaw better, you know. So these ones, they're kind of universal, you use them all the time, but the problem is they're cheap and they wear out. All of them are cheap basically, and you know, they wear out pretty quick. But what you can do is you can put some bar oil on the fingertips so that it makes the material more malleable, and then the fingertips won't tear as much. So I'm going to do a little bit of that right now. And I use veggie oil. I made a video about that, one of my first videos around there. I don't know, maybe my 6th video or something like that. And this is a lot cheaper. Some say it's not as tacky for using on the bar, but I've been using this stuff for like 2-3 years now, and I haven't had a problem with any bar wear. So I'll just put a little on all the tips. I've got the bottom ones a little bit too. I just got to do one more. Thing about gloves is they just tear right through. That's the problem. The wood just eats away at the glove fingertips and the thumbs. And it'd be nice to find a set of gloves that's not only, like, you know, so, say something like Kevlar based, like, yeah, they have it in a lot of police services. Yeah, it'd be nice if there was Kevlar gloves that you could use for the wood, and also they're insulated in the winter. If you have snow on that wood, it's one thing to be outside and it's cold. You know, these gloves, even if they're insulated, sometimes they don't provide enough insulation. It depends. Some people get cold hands, some people don't. But what happens when there's snow on the wood, that's a big problem. I'm just going to start rubbing the fingertips and rub this oil in here. Yeah, in the winter time, if the wood has snow on it or ice, it's actually going to melt with the heat of your hands. As much as your hands are cold, there's still some heat. So you keep handling the wood and you're working up some inner temperature, it's going to go to your fingers, and it's actually going to melt the snow, and then your gloves get soaked. So I haven't found a good option for gloves in the winter time, or even in the summertime anyway. Something nice that, you know, you have to have a little shock absorption. You can't have just thin gloves that you just feel right through, because you need some insulation, because sometimes you'll move the wood around, you'll squeeze your fingers and pinch them between a couple pieces of wood, and it hurts, and it happens a lot too. I'm not too concerned about splitting wood tonight. I'd always like to split some because there's always so much, but I got so much to do around here, I'm not really concentrating on this. But anyways, let's get to it. Finishing off a kindling bag. Put a little bit more birch bark, a little bit of honey locust bark. It's gonna go up into the shop over top my office. I'm gonna do one more bag of cutoffs. Just bagged up a couple bags of cutoffs to get those out of the way. So the other day I went here and I cleared out some wood so that I could eventually start moving this wood back. And I'm going to use this area to have a nice little fireside chat with a friend of mine who's been helping me out, giving me pointers on how to do a channel, because he's got a big channel. And I'm going to reveal who it is at a later date, and there's going to be some good chemistry there. We're some good friends, so we're going to have a nice little chat. We're going to do this at the golden hour when you have the nice sunset, and we're not going to do it when it's too dark. We'll probably be here till it's dark, but you know, who knows? let's see what happens on camera and we'll go from there. I am going to make this area bigger because it's a little small to have a fire pit. And what I'm going to do now is show you how I get the totes up on the third row. Alright, next task. Alright, next task. I gotta cut up some smoker wood because I'm out of apple right now and somebody wants to come by for some. This has been here for some time. Yeah, it takes long to dry, but when I cut smoker wood, I'm just gonna cut these into a bunch of coins and I'm gonna chop them into like baseball sized chunks to bag up. And those are gonna dry pretty quickly too, but this has been here for a while. You can kind of tell. Alright, I got this apple wood chopped up. I got my old bagging tool friend here. His name is Charlie. We're gonna hack up some of this smoker wood. So when I was out today, I was helping the tree cutters again. And they had only a small saw. What was that, like the 170? The little limmer. And they had a big one. I didn't know what they had, but I was cutting up the branches in the truck so I could fit more branches. The guy said it was a half a load, but no, it was actually like a full load in the end of it. With some horrible crackly spruce branches. Actually, no, those were pine. So first I started in the back. There's a bunch of different stuff there. And we packed it all in the truck. And then the guy says, come around to the front, we'll get the last of it. So I said, okay, you know, the first load I cut up with the small saw, but it seemed like it wasn't firing properly. Like, it seemed like it was low power. It sounded nice, but it was just spinning too slow and it wasn't doing much on the wood. And it was just pussy willow, which is kind of soft, so it should have just went right through it. But anyway, so I came around to the front and we got all the rest of the branches and I said, okay, bring me the big saw. Then I said, no, medium saw. They said, no, we only have the big saw and the small saw. So I said, okay, bring the big saw. So they bring out another one they had. I guess they just got it recently. And it was a 441 Magnum. And I saw a difference in the power. I mean, I've handled the MS500i. I've handled 362, 462. But wow, that Magnum, that was powerful. And you know, you guys don't see me wearing a lot of equipment. You know, I'd say chaps is, you know, a little more necessary. I'm one of those guys who doesn't wear the equipment. And I don't wear the visor, but I'll tell you what, I haven't felt so much danger because of using my MS261C. But what I noticed today when I was using that 441 Magnum, that thing was so powerful. It was sending chips and chunks that normally wouldn't bother me. It was sending those flying. So I can appreciate the power of that saw, but just the way it flung around the wood chips. I got a couple times in the face. But yeah, I could see those powerful saws, you know, that's where you really need more equipment. I mean, anything can happen to you with a smaller chainsaw too, in terms of it spitting stuff at you, right? Of course, jeans is not going to stop them from cutting into your leg or your arm or something, right? Or if you're, of course, jeans not going to protect you if you get, you know, even with a small saw. But wow, that thing flung some chips, but it also cut the wood pretty good because I just kind of sat it on all the branches. Like I said, there was all those pine branches on top, and then there was mulberry, and was there some other stuff? But no, that was it. And then mostly pussy willow, and it was a big load, and he just sat that magnum on top of the branches, and it was all scraggly. Like, we tried to lay them up all on an angle, but I cut into that thing, and wow, the saw just fell in. You didn't have to put any pressure. I mean, that's how the saw is supposed to cut, but you just didn't feel anything. It would just go down. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. That saw just felt different from the other chainsaws out there, and it was kind of an older model. Yeah, I guess 441. I don't know if they make that still till this day, but nice power. I'd like to have that thing for bucking up logs, to tell you the truth. Alright, one bag down, one to go. Alright, bag number 2 is done. Time for the next task. Got a few pieces to put up there and just stack them so that they fit a little better. Next task. Okay, well, you guys missed out on that. I was trying to take a video and it ended up taking a picture while I was cutting all this elm. When you got some footage anyway. But this stuff is like paper. It's so light. But I know a guy who's Russian who swears by it, but maybe because it's Siberian elm, he's got a little bit of a bias. But yeah, this stuff is really like paper. I'll put these in the out pile because they're ready to burn. And then we'll get on to the next task. Okay, we're getting towards the end. I gotta clean up this mess here in front and pick out the kindling, rake off the solid stuff, and then clean up the sawdust. The second last task is actually part of another one, which is getting ready for the rain that's coming tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's wrecking my day for another job I had planned. I'm just trying to cover up this stuff here so that it doesn't get wet. I'll put a block of wood on it. That way it's not too heavy to carry around. This whole stack should be up in the corner behind the bin, but I got a whole bunch of wood here, the conveyor's in the way, and then I got another wood pile here. So final task. You guys notice anything was missing this whole time I've been working? Well, there's one more thing. It's a log splitter. So the log splitter's in the truck right now, and I'm supposed to do a job where I'm going to split somebody's wood tomorrow, but like I said, it's going to rain, so I'm probably not going to do the job. Let me check the weather right now. Oh, only a tiny bit in the morning. It's not even coming now. Let's see, what time does it start? Because maybe I can go and hammer out that wood before the rain starts. yeah, I'll leave the splitter on the truck, and then maybe I'll go hammer out that job quick. So the rain has been a deciding factor on the final task. So we'll leave the splitter on. It's no problem to get it off. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll see how much sleep I get. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that good stuff.